Hi, friends. Welcome back to your weekly card class from Maine. I am Julie Max. I'm the Maine Stamper. I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I am here tonight joining you along with my friend here, Remy from Ratatouille. He followed me home from Epcot in Florida, and I just thought it would be kind of fun to recreate some of the moments that I enjoyed while I was down south. Now, first of all, I want to say that I did not enjoy the heat. That was way too much heat for me. It was the mid 90s. It was very hot. This Maine girl was really, really over her limit in the heat department. So, anyway, it is a balmy 70 degrees here in Maine today. It's a beautiful day. Checking to see if we are a go here. So, I have not done a live card class in a few weeks. Very sadly. I totally missed you guys. I hope you were missing me too. I'm not sure if you were so busy you even forgot about me, but if you're watching, say hi. Let me know if you can see and hear me. I'd like to know that my equipment is working. I actually had a slight panic attack when I first came and logged into my computer tonight at about 10 to 8 and realized that some of my equipment was very much not in use for a couple of weeks. So it was almost a little bit scary. I did find a few of the right buttons. Hopefully we are good. We are live. We're going to be doing the Gallery Blooms card class tonight. So Gallery Blooms is a bundle in the new Stampin' Up! Catalog. So when we were together last, which was before the annual catalog actually even went live. That's how long ago it was that we were together for a card class. I couldn't even open the catalog in front of you online per Stampin' Up's rules and regulations. Hi, Janice. Okay, Janice is letting me know that we're good. So that is awesome. So we're going to be doing a nice card class tonight. We're back to it. We've got 4 cards that we're going to, I'm going to create, and then you get to get those kits in the mail from me as a thank you gift with your order this week. So your orders are $50 or more after your coupons, because everyone's earning those Stampin' Rewards now, which is fabulous. So use those Stampin' Rewards, but still spend $50 with me after coupons before shipping and tax. And these card kits are going to come to you in the mail. You're also going to get the card recipes, and I want to talk to you a little bit about card recipes when I make a couple of general announcements, which I have tonight, because it's been so long. It has been so long. So I'm really glad to be back. I know it is Monday, Memorial Day here in the United States. It is a day of commemoration, okay, I'm going to stumble over some words now here. But basically, it's a day that honors our military fallen veterans and heroes. So it's not necessarily a happy party day. I know that some people gather as they begin, they can, think of this as the first day of summer, all of those good things. I had for my family, if you follow my Facebook page at all, we did Layla's second birthday party on Saturday. So she was actually born 2 years ago on Memorial Day Monday. So hi, Michelle. It's so good to see you on here too. Thanks for joining me. So Michelle, you were at my in-person class in May, and these cards are slightly cased from those cards that we made in May. And I can't wait to share them with you because I did make a few changes. Obviously, we're using one bundle today, but during the in-person classes, I use 4 different bundles. We explore a lot of product when we gather together because I have it available for everyone to just use and try out, and it's so much fun. In case you were wondering, my next in-person card class is Saturday, June 14th. I run 2 classes. One's at 9 a.m. and one is at 1 p.m. Same day, same cards. You come to whichever class works best for your schedule, and basically just let me know if you're coming. It is super easy. So if you're local to me or planning a trip to Maine in June 14th is my next class. All right, we're going to get over to my workspace because I do have some announcements. Hi, Lynn. Good to see you from Southern New Jersey. And just really briefly recapping, my very first incentive trip that I got to go on was a lot of fun. My sister-in-law had the absolute best time, and it was so much fun watching her have the best time because she loves everything Disney. So I took the right person with me. It was incredible. The things that we got to witness and see and share, and it was just a lot of ooh and ahs. Stampin' Up! Really does well spoiling demonstrators. I'm just going to say that. It was a great trip. I am more than happy to be home. I am a home girl. I am not a traveling girl. So I'm very glad to be home. And I plan to stay home for a while now, too. This little guy here, oh my gosh, this is Remy from Ratatouille. Fabulous ride at Epcot. We had so much fun in there. My sister-in-law actually had a Remy that sat in her hair, and his little paws held up parts of her hair, like little clips, held some of her hair up. It was adorable, and she got more comments and compliments on that thing walking around at Epcot. Oh my, I should probably post a picture of us if I haven't already. I might have. Anyway, it was a great time. We had a lot of fun. All right, we're going to get over to my workspace because I'm going to talk to you about a few announcements, and then we're going to get into our card class. So I want to say thank you for joining me. First of all, if I've forgotten to do that, thank you for joining me. It is so good to be back, but I'm probably a little lost tonight because it's been a bit. So bear with me if I am squirreling around, and hang in there. We're going to have a good time. All right, I'm jumping over to my work space now. I may or may not see your comments. I do try to check on them occasionally. So please continue to say hi as you jump on. I'd like to know who's hanging out with me. Don't be shy. You don't have to put your face on. Just let me know who you are and where you're from. Maybe this is your first time. I feel like it's my first time, even though it's not. I've been doing this for a while now. Starter Kit Special ends on May 31st. In case this is the first time you're hearing about this, because I don't spend a lot of time advertising. Let's just say that. I don't do a lot of marketing. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the Starter Kit Special because you have this week, basically, until next Saturday, to get $165 of products that you pick out. You pay $99. The shipping is free, so you pay $99 plus tax. You also get a past paper pumpkin kit. There's no choosing the paper pumpkin kit. Stampin' Up! Will send you one. It's a freebie on top of your $165 that you're picking out. And then you can choose anything from the new catalog, which is right here. We've got the May online exclusives. These are all the newest. You can also shop clearance rack if you want to, and last chance. You can put anything in your cart that totals up to $165. You cannot go over $165. So I always encourage you to play with those products, take things out, put things in, and get as close to $165 as you can. It's really hard to hit it exact, but you can get really close to it. And when you join Stampin' Up, you get early access to products. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about that part. That's like the best part, actually, I think. Well, no, the discount. Probably the discount's the best part. Okay, let's go with the discount first and then early access. And you also earn commissions on what you order. Basically, it's your discount. Or if someone orders from you, you get 20% commission. Then you get to be a part of a community of amazing fellow crafters. Who doesn't want that, right? We are a really fun group. And this offer ends on May 31st. Now, my personal team is called My Creative Crew, and there are 12 of us. I guess I'm 13. So there's 12 members on my creative crew. So I'm not a big team, so I have time to be personal with you too, right? So you're not going to join a team with hundreds of other demonstrators and get lost in the sea. You can be lost if you want to. That's perfectly fine. But if you have questions and you want answers, I am pretty much available 24/7, as some of my team members may tell you. And there's no strings attached. If you join, you don't have to do anything other than shop and get a discount, or just grab the starter kit and never shop again. You can get the starter kit all over again in 6 months if you do it that way. There are people that actually do that, by the way. All right, starter kit special ending soon. I just wanted to bring your attention to that. Hey, this one's kind of sideways, but here we go. Something else that's ending soon is your May birthday discount. Now, I don't know if you knew this. Again, terrible at marketing, but I do have this out there. When it's your birthday month, I let you take any order that you want with a 20% off discount. So basically we work out the details and you can celebrate your birthday all month long. So if you have a birthday in May, you've got one more week to get that 20% off order in with me. Contact me directly before you put your order in, and I'm going to talk to you about how that discount works. And I've got it with the new Stampin' Rewards. It's actually kind of fancy how I'm working this out. So there's a couple ways it could work, but don't forget to get your discount. And if your birthday's coming up in June, guess what? You're going to have the same deal. In June, you're also going to get 20% off your birthday month, or July. Whatever birthday month you've got, keep that in mind. This continues, and it's a really awesome way to enjoy the discount without even being a demonstrator. But, you could if you want to. I'm just saying. There's all kinds of things. Let's talk about the virtual album retreat. If you're a scrapbooker or you're interested in scrapbooking, raise your hand. I would be part 2 of that. I am very interested in scrapbooking. Stampin' Up! Is doing a virtual album retreat in July. Now, this happens to be the dates that I'm going to be in New York for my stamping retreat out there. So I won't be actually joining the 3-day event, which is a lengthy 3 days. They're on Facebook, but the replays are available. So I can watch this whenever I have opportunity to. But it's a 3-day virtual event. It's on Facebook again. We're making 12 scrapbook spreads. And the only way you can join this is by purchasing the month-by-month album retreat kit. It is item 167338. You can start ordering this on May 28th, and it is $250. The kit itself is $250. The products equal at least that much, right? So there's a lot of product in this. You're making 2-page spread for each month, and I actually have more pictures in here. So they actually gave us in the bit. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be sharing this or not. So if I'm not, I'm in big trouble. But if it's okay to share it, then hey, look at this. You're checking this out. So we've got January, February. So 2 pages for each month. Here's March and April. Then we have May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So you can see here what we're creating, and they're going to be really good it's really good scrapbook pages. Okay, so then we've got additional supplies that you would need besides the kit that you would order. And basically it's ink, coloring tools like blending brushes, adhesive, your bone folder and clear blocks, things like that. Super things you all have, right? And then other things that you may want like pencils, rulers. Nothing's crazy here. They do suggest a 1-inch circle or die, and a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch circle punch or die. So, there's that. Okay, that brings us back to this. Now, what I wanted to talk to you about is a couple of things. If you join Stampin' Up! As a demonstrator this week, you can get this kit, this $250 kit, at 20% off when you order it, because you get a discount on everything you order. So there's a really good reason to sign up while we're in May. Now this scrapbook album retreat starts, ordering for it starts on May 28th. I'm going to be awful tonight. I hope you guys can bear with me while my brain works here. Starting May 28th, you can order this scrapbooking kit. This kit is available while supplies last. I don't know how many they have. I don't know how many people are going to sign up for it. So I'm going to recommend, if you're interested, please don't wait. I plan to be in line on May 28th myself to get this kit. You can use Stampin' Rewards toward this. So if you have $20 in Stampin' Rewards saved up, you can use it toward this. If you have $50 in Stampin' Rewards, you can use it toward this. Whatever amount you want to use, you can use toward this, right? And if you're a demonstrator, you get your discount. So that's a really good deal there. Okay. That's what I got on the album retreat. I hope you guys, if you have any questions, let me know. But I hope someone else is going to hang out with me and do this, because it's going to be a lot of fun. Hi, Kathy. Okay, just checking in. Hey, we're doing Gallery Bloom's card class tonight. So now we're going to get into the nitty gritty. The announcements, I think, are over. So let's hope my brain settles in, and we're going to do some cards together. So Gallery Blooms, we're doing, with a $50 order this week, you're getting the 4 card kits. We're back to the basics. 4 card kits for me. That's a great thank you gift. Thank you so much for your orders. The $50 is after your coupons and before tax and shipping. And your class kits always contain card bases, envelopes, ribbon, dry embossed, punched, and die cut pieces that are not part of the featured bundle. So anything that with the Gallery Blooms bundle, you would have to do the die cutting and stamping on your own. Of course, you can swap in your own products. It's going to be super easy because this is flowers. So it's a really easy card class to swap in products for. Don't forget, you're earning your Stampin' Rewards. You get 10% on any order over $20. So with your $50 order, you're already getting $5 in rewards, and that's good on a future order. Okay, you have to opt in for rewards, and this offer is good for the week here, Monday through Friday, May 26th to the 30th. If you order with me on the weekend and you contact me, I will give you this one if you're late in the game, or if maybe the next week's class is coming, you might end up in that pool too. So the weekends are kind of a gray zone for me. So don't worry about shopping. If you want to shop on the weekend, no problem. I'm going to figure out which class we're going to figure out together which class you're going to get. All right, the annual catalog. Oh my gosh, we get to open it today. How exciting is this? I hope everyone has theirs and loves them. There's a lot of good stuff in here, by the way. In colors are fabulous. Absolutely wonderful. And we're going to be using a few of them tonight as well. So Beautiful Gallery is a whole suite, and it starts on page 52 and 53 in your annual catalog. So there's a lot of product here. Now, what I'm not doing today is my normal thing where I'm not using everything in the suite. So I'm not using this paper. This designer series paper, by the way, I love it, but I like to go rogue. And when I feature a bundle, I'm pretty much not going to do what you're seeing in the catalog. I want to change in product. I want to use different things, different colors. I like to change it up like immensely. So you're not going to see any of this paper today. Maybe. I think. Yeah, no. I think I took that out. Okay. But anyway, we're focusing on the bundles over here. So Gallery Blooms is this bottom bundle right here. This is the one we're featuring for the class. We're also going to talk a little bit about Beautiful Motifs. We're using the stamp set because our Gallery Blooms is image only. Let's talk about that right here. Gallery Blooms, image only, right? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 5 beautiful flowers. Lots of dies that go with this one, which makes me excited. 5 beautiful flowers, line art, really thick, kind of chunky lines, and I like this kind of art myself. It's beautiful. It's realistic and it's gorgeous. Gallery Blooms photopolymer. Beautiful Motifs is kind of the coordinating bundle. It's got a couple of background stamps, which are fantastic. We're actually going to use these on the cards tonight, but you can use any background stamps you have. You can use any sentiments you have. This one has really great sentiments in it, and it has its own set of dies as well. Now, we're not using these dies for Beautiful Motifs, but I am going to talk about them briefly because they are really different. So the sentiments we're going to be going through card by card, basically, because we're going to be going through them card by card. But we're going to back up for just a second. Beautiful Motifs dies, because they're different, and I wanted to talk to you about why they're different. So here's the dies. First of all, ooh and ah, please. They're really awesome dies. I love anything with like florally, leafy, spriggy, and then these are like Victorian-esque, right? These little corner pieces, these fleur-de-lis type things. Fantastic. Now, what's different about these dies that we are not using? First of all, let's start with the end. This one right here, this big fern, is going to die cut out the most wonderful fern-like green. And I did it in white, but you can see, cuts it out. So here's your white one from this one. Okay, then we're going to move over to this one right here. Also really fantastic. It's going to die cut out fully. This beautiful flower, which you see here, love it. Now this is delicate, so this is going to require some extra, both of them actually, delicate, very careful adhering, right? Now when we move to the middle one here, this one right here does not cut out this image. It actually kind of embosses it, but it also, hopefully you can see here, it lifts part of it up. So it doesn't come out of here completely. So you're going to basically use it on your card just by putting this onto your cardstock. You're going to feature it just like this. Some of these will come up. You could even put some dimensionals behind there just to kind of have that as a popped feature. So that's what this die does right here, and I want to talk to you about it because it's different. And the same thing goes with the next two. These next two flowery, fleur-de-lis type things, right? They don't come completely out. So when you're using them, they're going to be in the corner of something. It's going to accent. It's going to be a little bit like, it looks like it's popping out, but it's actually not. Same thing with this one. So they're really unique and different, and I wanted to share that with you in case you were wondering what is the deal. Like if you get these, you're like, why are they not die cutting completely? They're not meant to, right? So these three on the right hand side here, these three are just kind of like pop-ups, and that's what they're meant to do. So I wanted to share that with you. We're not actually using them tonight, but since it's like neighborly here, since we're being neighborly with Gallery Blooms, I thought we would just kind of take a look at those real quick, check them out together. Now, what we're talking about today, though, is Gallery Blooms dies, and look at all these dies. I am super excited. This is a really great set, by the way. This ginormous rectangle, I love it. We just used this in my in-person class in May, and we're going to use this one die. We're going to make this rectangle work on three out of 4 of our cards tonight. So you're going to get a lot of mileage out of this one. Absolutely love it. You do need a good piece of paper for it, but you get mileage. And then we've got the outlines for our flowers for Gallery Blooms. And then we've got those bonus dies that are kind of leafy, spriggy, all the good things, right? So we're going to be using quite a few of these tonight as we get into our class. Again, if you don't have this set and you don't intend to get the set, think about it. There's like a 3-page spread in this book. Like there's a lot of pages in here. Here's this fleur-de-lis up here. You can kind of see how they've worked that in. So just lots of good ideas. The catalog is an idea book. As we get to this paper over here on the next page, I want to just say that I love this paper. We're using it on 2 cards tonight. Sneak peeks, right? Because those are kind of your sneak peeks. All right, cool. So hi, Patty. Good to see you here. Thanks for hanging out with me a little bit. Gallery Blooms card class tonight. Kind of a little bit of a throwback to the cards that we made at my in-person class. We're going to review them briefly because I never did share them. I ended up going down to Portland before my trip, and then I took another week off after my trip, and I never really kind of reviewed any of the cards that we made at in-person class. So these are the cards that we made at in-person class. You can see here we really had 4 different cards featuring different bundles. but tonight's class is going to be loosely based on these cards. So as I get into them tonight, I'm going to share these again, and you're going to go, oh, I see. So I've changed things up, and some things I've kept the same. So those are the cards that we made. So I'm going to keep those kind of nearby so that we can get into our other cards. Now, before we do anything today, when you get your card kits from your order this week, here's what your card kit's going to look like. You just saw the cards. So, right, you've got the pink, the gray, the cloud cover with beige. You've got some purple here, right? So you've got all of the card kits that I really just kind of talked about. These are the ones that come to you in the mail. There's punch pieces, embossed, lots of embossed pieces, a little bit of ribbon, all the good stuff, the die cuts and what have you that aren't part of Gallery Blooms. You're going to get a piece of paper, white cardstock, I should say. I think this is a quarter sheet, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, because, as mentioned, you don't get any die cuts that have to do with Gallery Blooms bundle. And this rectangle happens to be part of it, and it is on 3 different cards. So you're going to see here that that's going to fit onto this piece of paper, and we're going to die cut it. We're going to do this together so I can share with you how you're going to do this and then what you're going to do with it afterwards. So first of all, let's put it into the die cutting machine. I have mine set up so I've got the base plate, the die cutting shim, clear plate 1, and then clear plate 2 is going to go over top. You can see here that I have this going in at a very slight angle. Now it still has to fit through side to side, right? The rollers are in the middle. So, but it is slightly angled, and it's just better to put things through your dies, I should say, through at a slight angle rather than straight square on. Think about a head-on collision. Oh, that's an awful thought. Don't really think about that. But the reality is, when you go a little bit off to the side, there's less damage, right? So when you do kind of a head-on with your die straight into your die machine, it's just really much more damaging. So if you go at a little bit of an angle, it's just a little bit gentler. You didn't hear that nasty crackling, popping going on, which is just really helpful. All right, so this is what you got left over from your paper, which isn't much, right? That cuts it short, but you can get this 3-piece rectangle deal. So here's one piece, and then we have the other 2 right in here, and we've got the outer piece here. Here's the outer piece, and then we've got our middle piece here. I'm just kind of bending this a little bit because I can see that it wants to come up and out. There we go, 3 pieces. So if you put them all back together, let's pretend maybe you die cut this in 3 different colors. You could have a 3 different color array here from this really awesome one all solid piece together here rectangle die, which I love. I love this die. Okay, so now we are using these 3 pieces individually on 3 cards tonight. So I wanted to share with you, you're going to get this piece of white cardstock. That's what you're doing with it. You're creating your little squares that are going to work on your card kits. So speaking of card kits, let's get going here. We're going to do our first card kit. We're going to start with In the Pink. Now this is a brand new in color. Strawberry Slush, if you're paying attention at home. Strawberry Slush. Love it. And we're going to use the biggest frame for this one. So we're going to set these 2 aside. We're actually going to put these into kits. This littlest piece right here is going to go in with the beige and the cloud cover. And the medium one here, the middle frame, is going to go in with the gray kit. Okay, so that's where those are coming from. In case you're, wondering later on, like, what? How did those get there? That's what we're doing, just like that. Okay, so here is your basic kit. We have watercolor paper. We're going to be doing a little bit of watercoloring and some heat embossing. You've got a Strawberry Slush base. This is Strawberry Slush DSP. Look how beautiful this DSP is. I want to stop and pause for just a second. There's so many new products that this is going to be a long class because I want to talk about some of these. You're getting a punch piece. This is labeled with love. This is the new 6x6 Designer Series paper. This is the Core Color Family paper. This one is the 25-27 in color. So you've got Strawberry Slush. I want to look at the patterns with you. So obviously you've seen the stripies, which go either way, but I love that it's not like a true color. Like it's got darker colors, lighter colors. This is the back side, which is fabulous. So these are 2 of your patterns, right? So this is Strawberry Slush, a Darling Duckling, same deal. Then you get into Timid Tiger. Here we go, Timid Tiger, which is the orange that I love in case we're all playing along at home. This one is Secret Sea, and it's so beautiful. I don't know, this one and Cloud Cover are 2 favorites. Here's Cloud Cover. Speaking of which, Cloud Cover, love it, right? And then now we're getting into, so those were 2 patterns, right? We had the leaves and the stripes. Now we're getting into this background, kind of like a sponged pattern here. And then the other side of this is flowers. Look how pretty these are. I love, these are the best patterns I've seen in a really long time. Every year they change the patterns. So every year you're getting different patterns in case you're, have some at home. Look at this. I love it so much. So these are the 4 patterns this year. So your stripes, your sponge, your flowers, and your leaves. And so that's where this paper comes from. I just wanted to share that with you. So when you get any of the paper packs, you can get subtles, brights, regals, neutrals, and then both sets of in colors are all going to come just like this with these patterns and all of the colors that belong in that family. So don't miss out on those because I feel like sometimes people don't realize that those are things. Okay, let's put this together. This is meant to go into this frame right here. This is cut at 3 inches, so you can get 2 pieces per card, basically, if you're playing along at home, right? Now, it's kind of snug here, this 3-inch, which works. And we get to choose the bright leafy color, or we can do the softer, subtler, stripy color. Now, I didn't show you the card yet, and on purpose, because I want to bring that out in another minute. But what I am going to do is I'm going to use the opposite on this card that I've used on my first card, which you haven't seen, again, haven't seen it yet, so you're like, what are you talking about? But I'm going to share with you how I'm putting this on here. Because it is a tight connection, you want to make sure the front is beautiful. It's got kind of little embossed corners here, like a real frame would, right? So put that on your work surface with the back side facing up. Put your designer series paper on top of it with the back side facing up. So that means the stripies are going to be shown. And I'm just basically going to tape it here. Rather than glue this down, because there's not a lot of room on the edges, we're going to do this, right? So I'm just going to take 4 little pieces of tear and tape, my favorite tape in the world. If you're using tape, it's got to be tear and tape. Okay, there we go. Now when we flip it over, it is all beautiful and lovely, right? So when we put it on our card, what we're going to do is we're actually going to remove this backing. And we're going to see if I can do this way, and if not, I'm going to grab out my trusty take your pick tool, but it feels like this is working, so I'm going to make this work while we hang out. You know, in case you're doing this with me at home, like later on, perhaps get your card kits. You want to rewatch this video and go like, wait, what are we doing? These are the steps. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of, just a little bit. Don't be crazy with your glue here. This is not crazy glue. This is Tombow green liquid glue, the green glue. Just a little bit of glue there. We've got our tear and tape as well. This is our card base opening this way. So I'm going to put this right over here. I'm going to layer it so that it's farther to the left. But I'm also kind of keeping that nice little matted view here on the top, bottom, and left side. So there we go. Just like that, we have part of our card done. And I'm going to amaze you next with this beautiful piece of black cardstock. And you might be going, what are you doing, Julie? Why are you putting black cardstock on this card? And I happen to like it like this, but you know, if this bothers you, which, you know, you may be creatively bothered by this, this is longer than the frame. So if you need to trim that up before you put this down. Like it can be the exact width. I actually want mine to be a little bit longer, and pretty soon you're going to see this card and you're going to go, oh my gosh, yeah, that makes total sense. This is going to be for a sentiment. This is watercolor paper. We're going to go ahead and do a little bit of embossing and watercoloring and make it really fancy and fun. So we're going to go ahead with our silicone mat behind this, because I found that the center of my stamp may not stamp as nicely as I want it to. So I have a few little tricks in case this ever happens to you. Sometimes there are sections of the photopolymer stamp that just are a little bit lower than they should be. Now, if you have a quality issue, please, if I am your demonstrator, let me know. I can let Stampin' Up know. Or if you are a hobby demonstrator or you have another demonstrator, let them know you have a quality issue, because Stampin' Up is really good about taking care to make sure that you are happy with your product. So sometimes there are stamps out there that are not workable. They actually have such cutaway pieces that you can't actually get a good clean image. They will send you a brand new case, and sometimes it's something that they need to know about. So for now, we're just going to go ahead and work with this one because I can make this work. And I'm going to show you how to make it work too. Now, first of all, Versamark, you're going to go ahead. Now, in the middle section of my stamp is where I'm having my problem. So I'm going to press extra hard. It's like lifting weights and like putting all my muscles in there. Okay, now the next thing I'm gonna do, so I've added the silicone mat to this to give it a little spongy background. I'm gonna pick this up, and I am from behind here, right? I'm grabbing the middle of my stamp with the paper, and I'm just making sure that I have connectivity in that middle here, right where I don't think it has enough of that. You can kind of pick it up and rub that. So there we go. It's really hard to see on watercolor paper when you are heat embossing using Versamark if anything is actually working until you get the powder on it. Once the powder's on it, then you know you're good to go. All right, so now I know I'm good to go. I've got a full covered image here. That's how that's working. I'm just going to add a little bit more and make sure. I want this to be nice and dark and black. Now I have some extra powder all over the place. Not a problem because this is going to get die cut out. But this is my image so far. And now we're going to die cut that. So that was my little workaround to get my stamp to stamp a nice little image for me. Oh, it would be very helpful if this was plugged in. Let's go. Plug in the heat tool. And we're off and running. Okay. I am very careful to keep my heat tool unplugged when I'm not in use. So I didn't get it plugged in before I started recording tonight. All right, once it's heated up, we're going to go ahead and heat up this image. Just going to take a minute here while we get going. Once it gets going, it goes pretty quick. It's all nice and shiny. It looks really wet. Once that powder sets, very glossy. You're going to know if you turn it in the light a little bit, what still needs to be hit with the heat. Okay, and then I think we're good. Let me turn that off. Okay, there we go. We have our beautiful image. Now this is the biggest image that's in the stamp set, the biggest flower image, I should say. This one right here. Beautiful image. Love it. I hope you guys are loving this too. Now, we are going to do some interesting color techniques today because I like to change things up on occasion. So we're going to bring in some reinkers and we're going to color this in with reinkers. I've got Strawberry Slush and Old Olive, and we're going to make it really pretty. You really only need a drop. I mean, you need so little to do this. So if this is something that you like to do, I'm going to recommend that you heat emboss a whole bunch of flowers, and then you just go ahead and color away and use your reinkers. Bring in some water. I've got a little cup of water here. Now, sadly, the aqua painters are not available with Stampin' Up! Right now. The manufacturer that they were using for these, this is just water in here. Even though there's water in here, I'm grabbing water from my cup here. I'm going to go ahead and wet down the paper here where the leaves are. So anything that looks like a leaf, I'm just adding a little bit of water first, which may seem kind of weird, but it works. So I'm going to add the water on top. It pools up a little bit. Which one was green? Do you guys remember? I think it was this one. Yep, here we go. We got some green now. All right, so next we're going to just watercolor in our leaves. The embossing on the sides helps to hold, in the water here, helps to hold everything right where it should be so it doesn't run too horribly, which is a nice feature, right? And then we're just going to kind of pull that up around the leaves. We're starting with the green. Now you can always add more. You can't really take it away, right? So I'm just going to look to see, did I get everything I wanted to get? I think this one needed some. I never pre-soaked it. But there we go. So there's our green, as mentioned. So these are the aqua painters. Stampin' Up! Is looking for a new manufacturer, so they are not available. Now you can get water painters from other companies too, obviously. Perhaps you still have some water painters at home. I'm going to go ahead and squeeze the barrel here, and water will come out, and this is just a paper towel, and it's clean, just like that. So that tip is clean, but I do have another one that I'm going to use for the flowers. So we're going to go ahead and wet down our flowers just like we did when we started with our leaves. This may take a minute to dry as well here, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to soak up all these beautiful flowers. This is one of my favorite ways to do some quick coloring. Apparently I'm also coloring Unknown here. I'm adding in some green into my rose. Now, if you can see, and I'm not sure how much my camera is going to pick up, I'm starting at the bottom and I'm just adding the color here first, and I'm kind of letting it run on its own toward the top. So that way you can get a little bit of a lighter color as you go up, depending on how much is still on your brush, how much is on the flowers. And I'm going to go ahead and keep adding the darker of the drops here down at the very bottom of the petal, because I really want it to be dark at the bottom, lighter at the top. Now you can do this kind of however you want, but the shading here is really, it's a fabulous trick. I feel like my shading is not as good on this one that I'm doing live as on my original card, and I'll show you that in a little bit. But the top one looks pretty nice. Where's my strawberry slush? This is strawberry slush. I'm going to bring in, I want a little bit more like really dark ink. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to just pick this up and try to get this here on the bottom. The shading is just really pretty when you can get those different colors in there. Now this is going to look good in any color combination, right? Like you could do 3 different colors on this image. There's 3 flowers here. Or you could, you know, completely change gears and be like, I'm making all of my flowers purple or yellow or orange or whatever color you so desire, right? Okay, so that's pretty much it right there. So we've got some great shading here. I'm a little bit happier with that. Let me fill in wherever I might have missed some spots. So it's a little bit darker on the bottom and it kind of goes upwards a little bit. Let me just clean this up really quickly. I love how quickly these clean. I hope that Stampin' Up! Can find some really good, a really good manufacturer of these aqua painters, water painters. They've been called different things through the years, but I love them. And you can see here that we're all set with that beautiful image, some pretty coloring, and definitely something, I mean, this is artistic to the nines, right? Like, we all die cut and we all do some fancy coloring and all of those things, but when you get out your water and you're like really painting, it's fantastic. Now you can come through again with your paper towel, blot a little bit if you need to, and then this would be prettier if I put some more green in there, I think. But we're going to skip that part. We're moving on tonight. Now this is pretty easy to clean up. I have some water on here somewhere. I sometimes will take a baby wipe, clean up this little wells. If you're wondering where this little Stampin' Up! Magical pad comes from, it's part of the Glass Mat Studio, and to be honest, this is like probably my favorite feature, and it's not even the Glass Mat Studio, right? So you can watercolor here easily. It's a silicone. It's just really super fabulous. So there we go. Now we have this and we're going to die cut this. This is going to be our die that's going to outline that. Hopefully it's dry enough and we can move on here with this project. So let's bring in our die cutting machine and we're going to go ahead and die cut this beautiful flower that we just made so artistically. Let me get my die lined up on here. I'm going to turn this way so I can look at this for a second because I really want this to be pretty. Okay, I think. Sometimes going sideways for my camera is a little bit tricky. I think we're good. We're going to call that good right there. Okay, here we go. Die cutting it away. So pretty. All right, when this comes back out, this is going to die cut. So all that extra embossing powder that was on that paper doesn't even matter because look at that. Look at how pretty. And the black is super shiny too, isn't it? I love the new embossing powders. These are called the Basics Wow embossing powders, and there really is like a wow to them. They're so much better than the older powders. I am so glad that Stampin' Up! Discovered these things. All right, so let's finish up our card here. We have a sentiment piece. This is a punched piece from the label, and not sure if I got stuff on it. Looks like I probably did. We're going to go with this side. Okay, find the magical side that works. We're going to look at a sentiment that says, I'm here for you always. And we're going to bring in some strawberry slush. Yes, no, maybe. Do I not have strawberry slush? What did I do with it? Oh, I put it back. That's super not handy. Stand by. All right, strawberry slush. I must have put it away. I don't know why I put it away, but here it is, strawberry slush. This is one of the sentiments from the stamp set that went somewhere in my craft room. The Beautiful Motifs Stamp Set. So at the beginning of the class, I talked about the fact that the Gallery Blooms is all images, beautiful flowers. So we're using its friend here, Beautiful Motifs. And pretty much any of these are going to fit on here. And if you're substituting in sentiments at home, feel free, have fun with that, right? So we're going to put this one on here. I'm here for you always. I'm going to put this farther to the left and slightly ever so crooked, but that's okay. It's still beautiful. And we're good with this ink now. I guess I can put it away for real. Like, I don't need it anymore. I'm going to bring in some dimensionals. We're going to pop some things up. This card is almost done, believe it or not. This one is a super, I mean, like, not too in depth. I know you guys can do this at home. Now, if you're not a fan of heat embossing, you could just stamp. You could omit the watercolor paper that's in your kit. You could stamp instead the flower, color it in with your blends or your watercolor pencils or your markers, whatever you love to do. We're going to put this on here right about here. And so I'm going to go ahead and put one dimensional here. This is where I play the dimensional game. We're going to put one here. I can see that that needed to come out. We're going to put one way over here. And then we're going to cut a teeny tiny piece for the bottom stem. So this is where we use the sides of our dimensionals right here. And I'm going to put one just down here on the bottom, just right about here before it gets really thin, because that's just going to give us some extra support. So here we go. So you always have to be very selective of where you're putting your dimensionals if you're layering on top of something that already has dimension to it. And then we're going to go ahead and we're kind of going to angle this a little bit. We want to make sure that our leaves right here are kind of coming in, as you can see, and they're kind of highlighting our sentiment. I'm here for you always. There we go. Look at how beautiful this card is. Are you oohing and eyeing at home? I hope you are. Remy on my shoulder is thinking that it's quite a lovely card. Now we are going to add some gems. So I have a few here that we're going to put on. We're using the Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink gems. Now these are like my favorites, to be honest. These are so pretty. Like, when they say pretty in pink, they're not kidding. And we're going to put these on. Now, these are not coming, the gems do not come with your card kits. So you go ahead and use those Stampin' Rewards and get yourself some bling as needed. I'm going to go ahead and put these like just right about here. These are beautiful gems. I love them. They're not in the catalog. There's things in the online store. As mentioned earlier, May online exclusives. There's quite a few different things that you can get, and this happens to be one of them. So here's our card. This is the I'm Here For You Always. This is my original card. So if you wanted to switch that designer series paper over, this is what it looks like with the pink, with the white leaves. And this is what it looks like with the stripies. I'm going to set those down and take a second to look at them. I think I might like this one a little bit better. I didn't think I would, but it's always interesting to like kind of check them out. Now, this is one I did earlier. It's got a little bit more of the darker ink on the bottom and then the lighter at the top, which is what I was trying to do today, but I kind of got there, but I didn't quite get there. But anyway, this is the card that you're getting in your kit. So awesome. And then this was the original that we did at my in-person class. So again, Strawberry Slush. We had some nice red colors in there and some white. So it really doesn't have anything to do with the flower cards because this was such a unique, this is from the Totes bundle. But I wanted to create another pink card to go along with the cards as we kind of get through them. Let's see. Jess says she likes aqua painters from Stampin' Up. Oh yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you love the stripes. Thanks. Linda says it's pretty. You guys are liking the stripes. That is so awesome. Yay. Okay, good deal. Hi, Barbara. Good to see you here. Okay, so not part of your kit. This was in-person class. Part of your kit. So you get to choose at home which paper you want to be facing up. And I think that's really cool that you can swap those out. But either one, this card, this flowers look so pretty on there. And we just use the big frame. And we're going to continue now using the frame on our next pieces as we go. So we're going to jump into our second card here. And you're going to get a little twine on this one. Ooh, and lots of pieces. This one has stuff in it. There's still stuff coming out. Okay, this envelope is stuffed. This one is going to look a little bit familiar if you were at my in-person class, but I did change some things as well. I'm going to come over here and off to the side, hopefully, stealthily set some things aside. You're getting a smoky slate base, and you're getting an embossed piece with this one. This is called Damask. Damask. How do you pronounce that? Either way, it's D-A-M-A-S-K, Damask, Damask. I don't know. Designs embossing folder. It's a 6x6. It is a regular embossing folder, which means you're using 2 clear plates and your base plate without the die cutting shim. So not the gray plate. This is a thinner embossing folder. The design in this one actually kind of has like a flower at the top, and it kind of comes down this way. And it's sideways on here. So you're actually putting your paper in, if this is your orientation portrait, you're putting your paper in this way. You can line it up with this black line, and then you're going to rotate it and put it through your embossing machine with the spine closed first, so the hinge is closed. But it is one of those that's kind of tricky to you because you would think that it would be going this way, but it's not. It goes this way. So I wanted to point that out. Brand new in the annual catalog. It's actually, it is part of the suite, the gallery, this beautiful gallery suite. So it is part of that. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to doctor this up a little bit because we're going to change it. We got to give it a little bit of oomph. So we're going to grab out white ink. This is the Craft White ink. And I'm going to use a blending brush. So this is an ink pad that comes to you uninked, and you actually add the white, and it comes with the white, a bottle of white, which I probably really need to add more to, but I never do. I kind of just, I'm making it work, right? So we're going to add a little bit of the white. So you're going to see here as I get going, when it first comes down, it can be a little bit heavy too. So just, if you don't want it to be super, super white, just try to, gently apply that. I seem to not be able to do that too often. So we're just going to add a little bit of white here along the edges, and just to kind of soften this up a little bit. Now the craft ink is something that it feels like you could actually wipe some of this back off if you're not super happy with it. I feel like you can rub it a little bit. It's kind of like chalk where you can kind of manipulate this a little bit. I usually use my fingers. You could probably use a paper towel or a tissue or what have you. But we're going to just add a little bit of the white here along the edges. And it changes up that, it makes that silver a little bit prettier. And then that's going to come here onto our card base. So originally this was like tone on tone. And then with the white, it really brightens it up. It actually makes it almost look like it's a new color, which is one of my favorite tricks and things that you can do, is make something look like a new color just by adding ink. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add this to our card base, keeping in mind that your little imagery on the embossing folder has a direction. Like, I don't think it'd be the end of the world if you did it upside down, but the flowers really kind of look like they should be facing in the right direction. I'm going to actually flip this over and kind of rub that on from the back. Get that to glue on there nicely. Okay, so there we go. There's the bones of our kit, just like that. Now this is the middle section of the frame that we're using on this piece. And we are going to, again, bring a couple of sentiments in here. We're going to start with hello. Hello, everybody. Please say hello if you haven't said hello yet. It's nice to have you here. Petal pink. We're going to do petal pink. And this is one where we're going to actually kind of just come across our frame. If you were at my in-person class, you recall doing this, right? So we just did hellos all across. Now they don't have to be super even. Don't feel like you have to take a lot of time to do this, because you can do it kind of quickly. So as I'm going down the frame, so I like to first of all just put a hello in there that you can absolutely read before I start kind of going off in different directions. So as I'm coming down, I'm kind of focusing on middle and beginning. Middle, beginning, right? So now I'll do an end over here. So you just kind of vary them. You could, if you vary them like in 3 different patterns there, you're able to kind of quickly come down without having to think too hard about what should be showing on this. So kind of like beginning, middle, end, and none of it has to be specific. Absolutely not, right? And this is also kind of forgiving because it is a light color ink. You can, then you get to the point where you're like, how many more should I add in here? Okay, so we're good. We're good. We've got the letters that come across. We've got a few that you can read, the hello. So you kind of, your eyes know, like you fill in the blanks, right? This is what it should say. So we're good with that. And that way it's pretty quick and easy to do that for sure. But before we get going on more stuff, we're going to do some of the bones of our card base. Onto our card base. I should say this is the Kintsugi DSP. So you can see here on the back, really pretty gold foils. we're using this beautiful kind of petal pink and calypso coral matchup, and we're going to just put this strip of DSP onto a calypso coral piece of cardstock, right? We're kind of matting that right there in the center. This is going to go onto our card base, so right about here, I think is good. Of course, you can always be creative at home. If you like it higher or lower, feel free. I'm just showing you kind of some of the stuff we're doing with this before we get into anything else that needs to be done. Now this is a petal pink 2-inch circle. I've got a white 2 3/8 inch punched circle. These are coming to you in your kit. Let me just go ahead and glue those together. I gotta look at my card. How did I put this on here? It looks like I put this on dimensionals. So there we go. Okay, putting this on dimensionals, and then we're going to be able to see the original once I get this on here. All right, so this frame, middle frame from our die cut, works really well with the dimensionals that are in here. Like your full-size dimensionals will fit just like this, and that's probably enough. I mean, if you really felt like you needed to add another one, you certainly could, but if you just do the 4 corners and in the middle, you're good to go. And I like that you can actually, it's the right width to hold the regular dimensional in there. So nice. All right, now please, let's put this on the right way. So this is the front of our card. We want to make sure the hello faces in the right direction. We're going to put this right about here. Okay, so it's just going to come on here just like so. And our circles are going to come on here too. We're going to put that right about here. Now, because I already have some dimension here, I can, you know what? Let's see. I have another sheet. I won't stop and snip tonight. I'm going to just go ahead and throw some of these dimensionals from my next sheet right about here, knowing that my circle is going to come here just on top of that. So there we go. We're going to go ahead and remove the backings on this one and put our circle down right here. There we go. Bones of your card, just like that, right? Okay. Now we have to add the pretty things. So we have to do some die cutting, and we have to do some stamping and some sentiments, and then we're good to go. So let me get rid of my little scrappies here. And let's talk about what we're doing on these papers. We are going to do from our dies. So this is the work you're doing at home. Now, if you have another set, you can kind of fill in with whatever you have. I'm going to share with you the ones that I'm making. So I'm using these 2 pieces. We've got basic gray and calypso coral. So we're going to die cut those, and we're going to get these 2 little sprigs right here, kind of florally sprigs. We're going to go ahead and just add a tiny little bit of glue on the back in a couple of spots. Not a ton. You don't have to do the whole thing. We're going to just put this right about here. And then we're going to do the same thing with this piece. This is what I love about this set too, is there's so many different flowers and leaves that you can use combinations of, right? We're going to put this one right about here. So there we go. So there's the magic of television. We've got our die cuts done from those 2 pieces. Now this piece right here, you are stamping, and we are going to look for this stamp right here. Now this one kind of looks like a lilac, right? Or a foxglove. It can be whatever flower you want it to be, but we're going to stamp this one in basic gray. Just going to find my basic gray here. So you're getting this white piece of cardstock at home in your card kit, and that's just enough to stamp this, just like so. And this beautiful artwork that's on these stamps, it looks so realistic with the grays and the blacks. It just looks completely sketched, which I adore. All right, so once we have that done, we will die cut it with our die. This is the die that goes around this one. So it's kind of easy to tell which flower goes with which. So it's going to die cut that, and it's going to look like this. And then we're going to do some coloring on it. So let me move these things out of the way because we can just get down to the business of coloring here. So for these, I have Old Olive, my favorite green, and I've got petal pink, and I've got a dark calypso coral. So let's start with the greens. I'm just going to do light Old Olive for the leaves, and we're just going to quickly color this. There's not a lot of coloring here, which is kind of nice. Now on the in-person class card, which I'm going to share with you very soon, we actually colored this. We actually stamped this on basic beige cardstock, so it was a little bit darker of a cardstock. And then we colored the cardstock with the colored pencils. And then we use the blender brushes, the blender pens, I should say. I'm sorry, the blender pens, and we actually colored them that way. So that was kind of a neat way to do it too. So I start with light, I add a little bit of dark, and then I'm kind of going back through and kind of scribbling over top of the dark lines. And that just gives me those 3 different little hues on there. Now I'm going to start with the light petal pink, and I'm going to do really quickly, I'm just going to add color to every one of these little flowers, and very, very quickly. Just going to, the petal pink is a light color, so if I'm missing, it's kind of forgiving, right? If I go outside the lines, it's a little bit forgiving. Now I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to take the dark Calypso, and I'm using the pointy, the bullet end here. And I'm just going to kind of come to the bottom of each of these petals. Now here I'm just going to take a little bit more time here and kind of dot. Maybe I'll dot the center of the bigger ones. So I'm dotting a little bit of this dark color on either the bottom or the center of my flowers. Get that back on there and we're good to go. This will be like really hard probably to see with my camera, but I've got that little bit of dark in there. I'm going to come back through now with the dark petal pink, and I'm going to kind of blend it up a little bit. So kind of just going right back over again wherever the darkest is. So it kind of comes outward from there, and it gives you almost like a three color effect on these flowers. And it is really, it's very light, it's very pretty. And there we go. And then we're done. So this is going to go onto our card. And I'm actually going to put this on with a couple more dimensionals. It's going to come right over here on top of our circle, just like this. And we're going to kind of have our other little die cut sprigs behind it to either side, just as you see. And now we need our sentiment. So our sentiment piece is right here. And this one's going to say, thinking of you. And we're going to bring basic gray back in. So basic gray is a nice, it's a lighter color than black. So it's a really good color to use here, especially with the smoky slate. All right, so thinking of you, these little white strips that I send you in your card kits, and I know I've said this before, but in case you're new, in case you're wondering, these are all the cutaway pieces when I make my layers with the white cardstock. I cut mats and such. I have all these extra little pieces. And I just, I save them and they become perfect sentiment pieces. I'm going to go ahead and angle cut one end, kind of trim up the other one here. You have a little bit of wiggle room here. All right, this is going to come across right here. And once again, you guessed it, in case you're wondering, yep, we're doing some more dimensionals. We're going to put one here, and I think we're good. Yep, we're good. So the circles have dimensional. This frame has a dimensional. Now the middle piece has a dimensional. In case you're wondering, like, what is the magic of all of this, right? So that's going to just kind of hit right there in the middle, but I'm also going to glue a little bit on either end so that it's kind of secured in all locations here coming across. This one's going to look a little bit different from my original, by the way, because I changed something up mid-card. Oops, oh dear. This piece needs to be up just a smidge higher because otherwise my dimensional's showing, like my slip is showing. And now I feel like it needs to come over a little bit more. Okay, hi, I'm new here. It's been a couple weeks since I've done live card classes, so I feel like I'm new. All right, there we go. So look how cool that is, right? It comes right across there. I think it's straight. If not, that's okay too. It's a beautiful card. Now you're getting a little piece of twine. Ta-da! I made a bow. Look how quickly you guys blinked and I made a bow. You see how that happens? Now, if I could only find my glue dots, we would be able to put this bow on here. This is the Baker's Twine from the Baker's Twine Essentials pack, which Stampin' Up! Has carried now for, I think this might be their 3rd year. Or maybe it's just, no, I feel like it's their 3rd year. I could be wrong. It comes in 5 colors, essential colors. Let's go with essential. It's the essential pack, right? So essential colors like black, white, vanilla. There's a gray, there's a crumb. I mean, they're really fantastic Baker's Twines. You get 5 of them in one pack, and they work really nicely. Just to add that little bit. So if you're not a big ribbon fan, what I mean is a big fan of ribbon, not that you're a big ribbon fan, then the twine is perfect because it's lighter and smaller and it doesn't take up as much room. And we need bling on this card. We need bling. What pling did I use on this one? Oh, I used the Druzy adhesive backed embellishments. These were from, fun fact, I like fun facts, these are from the fall catalog. Like, think about Christmas time, right? They're like shiny sparklies. They have kept these around, so I am still using them. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Let's continue. So I'm going to put a couple of them up there. I'm going to put one down here, and I'm using this silver. Obviously, it looks nice with the grays right here. So there we go. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Let me see. Let me move some of my mess out of the way. And I'm going to bring in the original card. Well, the other card, the card that I just made, right? So I just made this one with you. So my thinking of you is a little bit different. I like it better this way. Tucked it under instead of like, I had this one kind of come over on top of the flower, and then I wasn't quite as sure that I was as happy with that. So I changed it up just a little bit. It's the slightest of changes. I think I used extra, oh, I know what I did. I put dimensionals on the circle and on the frame. So this one's actually lifted up higher. And then this one is more like exactly across. There's your differences. If you're looking at them, it might be hard to see them at this angle. But you have options. You always have options. Now, the original card that I did from the in-person class is this one. So the frame here is crooked, right? We did that on purpose. I mean, it's obviously very crooked, which means I didn't, oops. It could be straight, but it's, and then we used gray, and we kind of highlighted the embossing with gray rather than with white. So you can see the difference here between white and gray. And then I'm adding in for your card kits an extra piece of cardstock here behind the designer series paper, just to make it a little bit more prominent. But we did the same thing with the frame. The circles. This one happens to have 2 of those same flowers on there, and you can see here this is basic beige cardstock. We stamped it in Secret Sea ink, and we colored it with our watercolor pencils, and then I added on Wink of Stella here as well. So then we've got these cute little die cut sprigs. Here's our thinking of you with that, and so on and so forth. So there you go. You can see here that there's some different options here. So if you don't have white ink, or you want to just do a darker gray, you certainly could. You could make this frame a little bit sideways or canted if you didn't want to do it straight up and down, but you're getting a lot of the same pieces for this one in your card kit this week as we did in the in-person class. So there we go, card number 2. Jessica, hi, thanks. She likes the gray cards with the original. Thank you so much, that's so awesome. All right, so that's card number 2. Let's move on to card number 3. And this one, I love these colors together. These are the most fabulous colors together. Let me move some of my stuff out of the way because I have stuffs everywhere. So many things to do here. This one, speaking of basic beige with the cloud cover, really fantastic and beautiful. I love this combination. So basic beige, cloud cover, and white. Again, we're kind of getting into those really, they're kind of earthy, natural tones, right? They're just really pretty. You're getting quite a few pieces here. And I want to point out that 2 of these pieces are they're 2 inches. One's a little bit taller than the other. The shorter one is a layering piece. Now this piece right here is your die cut from your frame. Okay, so it's going to mat with this piece of cloud cover. This piece of cloud cover is for your flower. So that's the bigger one's for your flower. The smaller one is for your matted piece. And this was from the middle of the frame that we die cut at the very beginning. Remember, we had 3 pieces from our rectangle die cut. This is the 3rd card that is carrying on one of those pieces as we get going. So let's go ahead and put the bones together of this card kit. I am again using that Kintsugi. Let's see, I had it written down. Probably if I read it, I could pronounce it better. Designer series paper, which is really one of my favorites right now. Of course, this is the cloud cover pattern. We're covering up the vases with the gold, and we're going to just mount this on this piece of white cardstock. So I love mats. I love all of the richness of adding a lot of layers to the cards. And I pass this on to you. Now, if you get these card kits at home and you're not a fan of so many layers, you can go ahead and save some of them and put them on other cards, right? So you can probably get 5 cards out of what I'm sending you, or 6 even, right? But I personally just like to add a lot of layers to the cards. I am mindful though about keeping it so that it does require just 1 postage stamp. I do weigh them sometimes. By the way, in case you're wondering, like, holy heaviness, Julie, no, I do weigh them so I know that they can make it with one postage stamp for the most part. Let's talk about join together 3D embossing folder. I don't know if you can see this well in the angle here, but this is a new embossing folder in the annual catalog, and I love it. Now, sometimes I see things and I'm like, okay, yeah, let me try it. And then I get them and I love it. This I love. There are so many ways you can use this. So it's got all of these different patterns here. This is what I've got right here. I've got a little bit of this kind of grid here, and then we've got the flowers on one side, I guess depending on how you're doing it. Embossed, debossed, right? It's got these lines that come through. This embossing folder, you're probably going to see me use this a lot because I do love it. Now this is a 3D one, so you're going to use the gray plate with this one. But for now, we're going to just put this piece right here. This is basic beige. We're mounting this onto cloud cover, and it's like the best. I mean, like my favorite new embossing folder. I adore this one. There's just so much to it. Okay, so this is coming on here with, it looks like maybe some dimensionals. Let's grab them back out again. I shouldn't put them away, but I feel like every time I put them away, then I know where they are when I need to grab them again. Otherwise, I'm looking around my craft room going, they were here a minute ago. You guys can relate to that, right? We all have everything in our hands, and then they get buried in the avalanche of supplies as we're creating, and we can't find it. Crazy, right? All right, so this is going to come down on here just like so. We're going to kind of put this over toward the side. We've got some layers going on here. Look at all these lovely layers. Now let's do a little stamping because we haven't done a lot of stamping yet. Let me see. Do I have my scrappy paper? What do I do with my scrappy paper? See, I put things somewhere and then I can't find it. Okay, scrappy paper. Let's do this little tornado. It's not really a tornado. These little lines right here are super cool. And we're going to use that. This is from Beautiful Motifs, kind of a background stamp. We're going to bring in basic beige ink, and we're going to stamp off because I do want it to be a little bit lighter. So stamp off, and then we're going to kind of put that on there. Do the same thing over here. And we're just kind of coming up through here just to give us a little bit of a background here on this piece before we put this onto our piece of cloud cover, the best new in color ever. I'm going to start a rumor. This is the best new in color ever. All right, so this is coming on here. This white piece again was from the inside of our frame, the third piece in. All right, this is going to come on here just like so. And this was the shorter of the cloud cover 2-inch pieces in your kit. This piece is a little bit bigger, and we're going to do our flowers on this one. So this is what we have left. We have some, let's move this out of the way so you can see it nicelier. All right, so this is our sentiment piece. Again, we're going to do some die cuts with this. So we're going to die cut. Oh yeah, this guy right here. This kind of leafy guy right here, he's going on there. And the white one is going to be, it looks like this one. Feel free to switch them up a little bit. Now this one we're going to stamp, and we're going to heat emboss in white. We're going to do this flower right here. So if I could find all my heat embossing tools again. We did this 2 cards ago. Shouldn't have gone too far, right? Okay, so cloud cover. We're going to just rub our little buddy over top of that to remove some of the static. This is going to be our, I'm going to go this way. I always try to get lots of Versamark on my stamp so that I have a nice wet image, and then we're going to stamp this right onto the cloud cover cardstock. I'm going to leave that there because I don't have my powder ready. I like to immediately get the powder on there while this ink is wet. So if I try to be mindful of doing that quite timely here. I don't know if you can see this or not. I'm probably jumping all over the place on camera, but here we go. So here is our beautiful little image, just like so. And we're going to go ahead and heat emboss this one. And I've got my reversible tweezers here. This is part of the toolkit that you can get with the additions, the Heat Tool Additions add-on. All right, here we go. So this time we're doing cloud cover cardstock with white embossing powder. Our first card we had watercolor paper, with black embossing powder. And this is just really pretty. I love the white on this cloud cover. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Just like that, it's done. And then we die cut. So when we die cut, we may or may not have all of our pieces over here. Okay, so we die cut this, and it's got this great little die right here, so it's going to come right across here. Die cut this piece. These pieces, as mentioned earlier, we've got this piece right here from the beige. We've got this piece right here from the white. So there's all of our little die cut pieces. And I'm going to set those aside and go with these. And if I got to look at my sample off to the side here because I got like, what did I do next? I glued some of these things down. That's what I did. So this piece has little slits in it. So you just have to be kind of mindful about the glue because you don't want to be too crazy with it. You know what? I sponged this a little bit now that it's like sitting here with glue on it. I'm going to grab out my dauber and see if there's enough little bits left over of basic beige. I'm just going to maybe add a little bit on here. And then I'm going to throw it onto my work surface. I don't recommend that part. Just fast forward through that. That didn't really happen. Okay. So yeah, before you put the glue on, if you want to add a little bit of basic beige on there, feel free. Just, maybe a little bit. That can kind of come off there to the side. Then we're going to go ahead and glue this guy down. This is the little white one that we die cut. Magically. I magically die cut it early on. This is going to come up here. I'm going to bring this up a little bit higher this way. So you can see those two pieces that are on there, and then this piece is going to come on next. It's going to kind of come through the middle here and kind of bridge the distance between them. And I'm just going to go ahead and, this one at least, you can be a little bit more generous with your adhesive because there's more spots to work off of. Okay, so we're going to put this on here, and then this piece, kind of, if you can work it out well, which I happen to manage, it kind of covers the bases of this. So this piece ended about here, and this piece ended about here. So if you can get them to like play nicely together, ask them if they'll play nicely together. Then you can kind of line them up just like that, and it's going to look so lovely. You're going to love it. All right, with the ribbon here, this is cloud cover ribbon, by the way, super fancy. We're going to make a faux bow. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the bottom, take a third of it, right? Basically, hold it like this in your hands, bring this one back toward you, right? So you got a little loop there. Bring this one forward, right? And then if you turn it sideways a little bit, now you're turning it sideways. So hopefully you can see. It's like a fake bow. Like there's no knot in the middle. The only thing that's holding this right together is my fingers right now. So it's like a fake bow, right? So we're making a faux bow. Without the knot in there, it's just a little bit handier to put on to your paper, right? We don't have that knot. Now hold that down with something handy like, your stamp or scissors or what have you while you grab some tear and tape out. So you've got this great little bow here. You don't want to lose it. And you can't do everything, with your fingers. You only have two hands, right? We're going to put this on a little bit sideways, right? We need to do it this way, catch it in the middle. So it's kind of coming up and making that cute little bow formation. Okay, and then of course, if you need to like trim the ends, I can see here that this one's a little rough. My ribbon scissors, I feel like went through the ringer, and maybe somebody used them without proper use because there's like a little knot in them now. They don't cut ribbon as nicely as they used to. Either I need to buy new ones or I need to sharpen them or some such. Okay, I'm just playing with my little bow here. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take this little tear and tape off now that it's holding that down nicely. And this is where our sentiment's going to go. Now we need to put our sentiment in here. The sentiment is going to say just a note, and we're bringing in Secret C. Now, if you don't have Secret C yet, you can use dark gray, right? Your basic gray. You could use Memento for black. You could use Night of Navy. There's lots of dark colors that you could use here. I happen to be using Secret C. I love this color. Like this is replacing a lot of colors for me as a background color. So there we go, just a note. And then we're going to go ahead and, again, one of those little scraps, we're going to kind of angle cut one side here. And then this is going to come on here with some dimensionals. And we're going to put our dimensionals on either side of our ribbon. I'm looking at this and thinking, I don't really like how this is kind of over here. I'm just saying it's not as pretty as my original, okay? In case you're wondering what I'm doing here. I'm like, wait a minute, my original looks so much better. So now I'm playing with ribbon because it's one of those things. I'm just not so happy with it. All right, we're going to carry on so that you don't have to sit here and watch me for 10 minutes trying to figure out the struggle bus here on my ribbon. Oh, I'm very unhappy with my ribbon. Put your dimensionals on other side here, either side of your ribbon that you can possibly love or not love. It's like totally up to you. I feel like I don't love this at all. Oh my gosh, look at this. It's kind of coming up because I'm just not having it here. All right, we're going to start this over again. We're going to start over. Hold, please. Hold, please. You like hanging out with me, right? You're like, okay, Julie, you can do this. You can do this. Now, first of all, this frayed end is making me wonky. All right, here we go. One more time. Back and forth, fake bow. Just like so. Ooh, Dr. Seuss rhyming now. We're good. Okay, one more time. We're going to just do this quickly. And I know you can commiserate with me here on like, I wanted it to look like this. So I'm going to keep working on it. Okay. We're going to make this work a little bit better. I know. You're going to see my original card and go, yeah, that was probably a better run at this, but okay, that dimensional has seen better days. Here we go. Back to the dimensionals here on the side of my ribbon so that I can hide the tear and tape. This is the purpose, right? Hiding the tear and tape. We're putting our sentiment on here. And I'm just going to remind you that I'm new. Haven't done this in a while. Not really new. I haven't done this in a while, so I just feel like I'm fumbling a little bit. A little bit more than I normally would. I hope. I think. You guys are so kind. Okay. Now this is crooked. Oh my goodness. This is the card that is going to be your favorite card. I just know it. It's going to be the beautifulest card. You're going to love it so much. All right, so we're just about done here. We're going to wrap this up with some bling. Bling will help. This happens to be the 25-27 in color flat pearls. They come in, of course, Secret Sea cloud cover, which is what we're going to use here when I find my take your pick tool. And then we've got Timid Tiger, Darling Duckling, and Strawberry Slush. Some really great colors here. So I feel like I'm going to go opposite. I'm going to go in a different direction than my first card. I'm just changing it. Now I'm just changing it up. So we're going to see which one we like. We really like better. Maybe we'll like this one better than my first one. Okay, so hanging in there with me. Thanks for hanging in there with me. We got this. I appreciate all your positive vibes. All right, here is our Just a Note card. So here we go. Here is the one that I struggled through. And I'm still not really happy with that. I can see that that's going to need a little bit of tacking down. It needs some help. And here's my original. Let's look at my original. It's pretty. And I do have the embellishments a little bit differently. Triangulated. I'm going to make that a word. This is a new word. Triangulated. The triangle of embellishments. There we go. Just a note. That is our card that's in our card kit of the week. Jess says she's loving the cloud cover and lighter color. Reminds me a bit of Beach Vibe. Beach Vibe, absolutely. Oh my gosh. Hi, Lynn. Thanks for loving this card. Okay, Beach Vibe. Love that so much. This was the original card that we made in my in-person class in May. Switched up a few things, which you can see here, right? The ribbon obviously is different. We did a white embossing folder piece instead of the beige, so I kind of flipped these. These are the rectangles, stitch, something with rectangles. Can't remember them right now, but they're the rectangle dies that I can never remember even though I try really hard. This is the washi tape die in Stamp Set, which we use on this one. But we're obviously using the Gallery Blooms flowers, so I had to change it up a little bit, and this is what I came up with. But both of these cards are really equally lovely layouts. In case you're like checking them out, you want to change it up at home too. I wanted to share with you, I cased, copied, and selectively edited my original card from in-person class to create these cards tonight. So it's just kind of a really great way for you to get some ideas too, right? So there's Just a Note. We made it through. Card number 3. Okay, we got one more card tonight, and we're going to do this. We're going to go out in style. We're definitely going out in style, and you know what we're going out with? Purple. Your favorite color of all colors in the world, I think, for some of you. Most of you, I should say. I have a lot of purple friends out there. Hi, purple friends. If you love purple, throw a purple heart in the comments because I need to know that you are my purple person. This is what we're doing with this one. Now, because we ran out of rectangles for this card, we're actually going to play with banners instead. I chose to do something a little bit different for this one. Let's talk about those banners for a second because I really want to show you those amazing banners. All right, so these are the banners we're using on this card. So you can see right here, you're getting the die cut banners. Now, these cute little banners, first of all, nesting, love it. There's no stitching on them, which normally I love stitching, but you know, sometimes like everything has stitching on it. Without the stitching, these release from the die so much easier. The stitching kind of in the dies helps to hold the cardstock in. You really have to poke sometimes to get that out. This makes the release easier. These are the two that I'm using for this card, but check out the amount of and the sizes of the dies that you get with this die set. This is called Party Banners Dies. It's item 165264. This is ginormous. This whole package is like, it's coming to you at almost a foot in length. It's about 11 inches long and about 7 inches wide. So it's way bigger than any die set I've ever seen Stampin' Up! Carry. But these are all of them that you get. So you can see here that we're using the smaller ones, and there's even smaller ones yet for our cards. And as you get into scrapbooking and 3D projects, you're going to want these bigger ones. But for our card, we're using these two little guys right here. And I just wanted to share those with you. They are in the new catalog in case you missed them. They are so fantastic. I have been loving them. All right, so we're going to start with our card base. This is fresh. Freesia, look at all the bits and pieces I've already die cut ahead. You guys got a sneak peek again. All right, card base right here. We're going to bring in some fresh Freesia ink, and we're going to get this card done because it's so beautiful. Now we're going to bring in the other background stamp from the Beautiful Motifs Stamp Set. So this one right here, which looks kind of like that one embossing folder we had, right? It's very Victorian-esque. And we're going to use some tone on tone. So I've got fresh Freesia ink here. And we're going to go ahead and we're just going to stamp the right side going upwards on this card, right on the card base. So you're going to line up the next one best you can. Do your best impression of good stamping. I know you have it in you, right? Okay, there we go. It's okay to overlap a little bit as well, and you're going to have to add kind of just a smidge to the top here just to get that in. And then if you don't quite fill in the side, you can fill in the side a little bit too. Okay, there we go. Now it's not straight, but that's okay. It's actually better than my original. Let me tell you that. So in case you're doing this and you're like, ooh, that was hard. I didn't quite line that up nicely. It's okay because we have this handy dandy thing called designer series paper. This happens to be, oh, look how pretty this is, by the way. Look how pretty this is. This happens to be from, I think it's Flowers in Bloom, Floral in Bloom. I have everything written down, but it's all buried in piles and stuff. Florals in Bloom. This is Florals in Bloom designer series paper, and we're gonna put this right here on the edge. I am gonna put these pretty pinkish color flowers down this time, and just leave the purple ones up. So, in case you stamped crookedly, which is okay, as mentioned, right? This is going to kind of hide. So you're just getting a little bit here on the side, and put this on here wherever it feels right, so that it looks almost like you've got, you know, the card base. Obviously, right? Designer paper and then the stamp. So it gives you the illusion that you've got like more going on in this card base than you really actually do. So I think that's a really cool feature. Now you're getting the eyelet embossing folder piece right here, and this is going to just mount onto Petunia Pop. So Petunia Pop in color from last year, we have that for another year. Petunia Pop plays really nicely with fresh Freesia. It may look like I'm using a lot of glue, but it's not coming out, just in case you were wondering. It's just kind of stuck. And then of course it's on white cardstock, so you can't even see it. So we're going to pop this on here, and this is going to come down right on here. See, my glue is just not, it's kind of clumped up here. And then we're going to put this on right over here, right about here, just like that. Okay, so here's your, all the stuff that comes in your card kit. You get so many things that you can start playing with. It's absolutely fabulous. We're going to do our sentiment piece on the white banner. We're using Wishing You Love and Happiness That Lasts a Lifetime. How sweet is that? Don't you love that? We're going to bring back in fresh Freesia, and we're going to do our sentiment on here. And the sentiment is going to come kind of closer to the banner edge. Did I mention that these are a little bit rounded? by the way, in case you're looking at these and wondering about that. These banners aren't like a straight line banner. They're not harsh lines. They're not like you couldn't do this rounding. If I mean, maybe you could. I'm underestimating your powers of creativity. You could probably do that, but if you feel like you couldn't do that evenly and well rounded, you don't have to worry about it, because these dies, they do it for you. Now I know, like, we all know the little trick about, you know, creating banners with our scissors, and we put the lines in. Mine always end up crooked. Like, I am really not the best at the banner making. So when I can get a die set that does it for me, I feel like I have superpowers that no one else knows about, but anybody that knows I have banners. All right, this is going to go down with dimensionals. So we're going to put 5 or so on here, I think. I feel like 5 is a good amount for this piece. And we're going to pop this on here. Who is loving the purples, by the way? I know you guys are purple lovers out there. I haven't looked at comments yet to see if we have any purple hearts. I think I see one. Barbara, you are my friend. I love it. All right, this is going to come on over here. We're going to put this right about here. We can put it right about here, I think. Yeah, so pretty, right? Like, look how pretty. This is already a perfect card. Who needs more, right? Of course, we need more. This is a Julie card. It's got lots of good stuff. All right, we're going to come back in now. So we've been using these flowers up very nicely. This was card 1. This was card 2, this was card 3. Now we're on to this one, the corner one. And I think this one might be my favorite. Did I already mention I have a favorite? I think this is my favorite. We're going to bring in Secrecy, and we're going to ink this up. This is going to be great for corners too, by the way. Like if you have a corner that you want to put a flower into. But look at the gorgeousness of the ink and the line art, and it's just so beautiful in Secret Sea. I love this one. All right, so there we go. We got that on there. And this, of course, gets die cut out with a die from the set. So again, they're easy to figure out which one goes there. And while we're playing with the dies, we're also going to take our green paper and we're going to do some die cutting with some of these leaves right here. So these 2 leaves, you're going to die cut them twice. So you're going to do one set and then you're going to do another set. So you have enough paper here in your card kit. This is Old Olive. And after you die cut everything out, it will look much like this right here. So you're going to have 2 of each leaf set right here. And then you've got your die cut flowers. So we're going to do some really quick coloring and we're going to finish this card up. So again, I'm bringing in the Old Olive, which I used earlier. And if you like different greens, you can, change it up. You can change your cardstock color too. I happen to really like Old Olive though for the green leaves on things. It's a nice medium green, so it's not super dark. It's not really light. I just feel like it's like the perfect green here for this occasion. So I'm starting with the light color of Old Olive. I probably should color each leaf section. And then I'm going to bring in the dark as well. So if you only have a few blends, because I know that, maybe you haven't collected all of them yet. It's on your list of things to do. I totally understand that. It's just nice to be able to see me repeat using the same colors, because then you feel like, yep, that's one that I need. I need to get the Old Olive because it's really good color. All right, we're going to do the same thing here. Now we're bringing in Fresh Freesia. We're going to start with a light, and I'm just going to go ahead and quickly color my flowers in. Oh, I think I colored some leaves. I colored some leaves purple, but no one's going to know, right, if I color them purple. I think it's okay. I can probably come back through. Now I'm going to bring in the dark Fresh Freesia, and I'm just going to kind of go from the center out. So I'm just going to squiggle on some where these lines go, kind of outward a little bit. Nothing crazy. I mean, you can totally be crazy if you want to. I'm going to bring the green back in and see if I can't make this green, this leaf. That should have been green. And it worked. Yay. I'm going to go and bring I'm bringing the green right here in kind of the center of these flowers. There's room for another color. Now, if you wanted to add yellow, you could. but I'm just putting green on them. And that's it. I'm not getting super fancy. You can definitely get fancy with your coloring, but I choose to just kind of keep it simple. Now this is going to come up here in the corner, just like this. So it's going to kind of go in a little angle around our sentiment. And I am going to put this on with some dimensionals, by the way. So I'm just going to put a couple of them on here and then pop this up here, just like this. And you may be wondering, wait a minute, Julie, you forgot the leaves. I did that on purpose, and I'm going to show you why. First, I'm going to just make sure I like my angle here. Look at how cute that is. I love that so much. All right, please remind me that we're using Wink of Stella on this. Wink of Stella, Wink of Stella. I don't know, did I put it away? We're going to use a little wink on this. But first, we're going to talk about our little leaves now. So with them up here on the dimensionals and already in place, it just makes it easier for me to tuck in my leaves wherever I feel like adding them in, kind of after the fact, right? So I'm going to go here. I'm going to do this one first. So I do a little dry fit, and then they are a little bit, you know, delicate. There's not a lot of room here for glue and whatnot, but you don't need a ton. Okay, so I'm just going to flip this over, and I'm going to kind of bring this back down here, right about there, and I'm going to add this guy in next. This one has those little slits in the side, so don't be super crazy with your glue. Once again, we're going to put this one in. So just adding some greens that come down this way. And I could tuck them up and under because my flower is on dimensionals. So that just makes it easier, right? And then we're going to kind of do the same thing up here. We're going to do a quick dry fit just to see if you how you want these to go on here. And then back them back out, add a little glue, tuck them right in. You are now a paper florist. I love being a paper florist, by the way. Just like kind of tucking things in, making it pretty, right? And it doesn't matter that these are super short because they just need to be slightly out to see them. And then if you need to, just pick this up a little bit, kind of take a look. See where you're tucking. Okay, you're good right there, buddy. Oh no, he came right back out on my finger, pulled him right back out again. So it takes a second for the glue to set up, of course, right? And if you have glue on your fingers, everything's glue-y. Look at how pretty this one is. Now we need some bling on this one. The bling does not come with your card kits. I'm just suggesting what bling you might use. This is Starburst Sequins. This is also an online exclusive. So it's got the Fresh Freesia color in here, which is perfect for our card today. So I'm going to go ahead and put one down here. Two sizes. We've got the big and small, and these are a flatter sequin as well, so they're not super bumpy, which is nice, right? If you're looking for something a little bit flatter, but it's just nice that it also it's so color coordinated. Like these are the perfect colors for this card. So there it is, our final card of the evening. Wishing you love and happiness that lasts a lifetime. Look how pretty. Oh, and the Wink of Stella. Yep, I can hear you yelling at me. Don't forget the Wink of Stella. Okay, so we're just winking this a little bit here. We're going to just, I need a little bit more to come out. This might be my empty one. I think in in-person class we used it and everyone was convinced that one was empty. Yep, probably that one right there. Okay, moving on. Let's get the next one out. Let's try this one. Let's try this one. Yep, that's got some wink in it. Okay, so I'm just doing the flowers a little bit, kind of the centers and outward just slightly. I'm not doing like craziness, but the Wink of Stella also just kind of, it blends the coloring in as well. I feel like it just kind of wets that down and makes that just a little bit nicer. So hopefully you can see that. All right, this was the good one. This was the bad one. I'm putting that in the garbage right now. Witnesses. You guys are my witnesses. I put in the garbage. No one's going to be like, that one doesn't work ever again, because it doesn't work. There we go. And this was our beautiful card tonight. That's part of the card class using the Gallery Blooms. This was my original card that we did in the in-person class. Different flowers that we did, whole different set. We used a bigger banner here, so you can see how big this banner is. And we actually, on this designer series paper, I used a bigger piece and we flipped it. So if you remember, this piece of purple, before I flipped it over, had those colors on it. We actually cut this a little bit and then used part of these two different colors. Bigger banner, we have bigger flowers, so it supported it. So when I brought my next set in and we have smaller flowers, I chose smaller banners so that it would look the right size. The sizing had to fit, and I also had to bring in some embossing and another layering mat here so it didn't look lost on my card. So it's really all about just choosing elements that go together And then obviously you've got a whole nother design here that you could try out if you really like this. We use, again, the kind of the background stamping on our card base there. Oh, this was, I forget, but when I do in-person classes, we do the insides. Let's review these real quickly. We do the insides as well. So there's that one. This is my in-person one right here. Oh, we use that cute little, I love that. We used that on another card. And I think there was one more, right? We did so many cards here on my surface tonight. We did this one right here. This was our tote one with the cute little. I will probably be doing card class featuring this tote in the future. So I didn't want to do the tote one tonight. I didn't want to mix it up too much. But all right, let me remove things that you don't need to see anymore. You've seen them. And let's talk about your favorite card from our class tonight because they're all so beautiful. We have a selection here, and look how pretty they all look together. So we've got the strawberry slash the fresh freesia. So we've got pink and purple. We've got the gray with the petal pink and coral. We've got the beige with the cloud cover, everyone's favorite new in color. So these are the card kits that I am offering to you with your order this week. You'll get one of each card that you've just seen me create. You'll get all those pieces, those cut pieces and things that I just shared with you as well. So those are all of the cards. I would love to know what your favorite one is. And if you have any more questions on this class as well. We hung out together for a long time. I'm going to check out, did I switch over? Let me see. Yes, I did. I switched over. I switched my camera over. It just hasn't shown me on Facebook yet. Okay. Lynn says they're all fantastic. Janice says strawberry slush. Kathy likes fresh freesia. I'm looking at, I love your comments. I love to see which ones you like. Barbara likes the purple and blue ones. Patty says purple is her favorite color. I love that too. All right, well, there we go. So I hope you guys, let's see, what did Michelle say? Purple wins. That's awesome. So some of my friends on here, you came to my in-person class. So you actually made the first original versions of all these cards. So I hope that you can see the creative mind at work here. When we take the same basic ideas, maybe the same colors or designer paper or whatever, we can add in different elements. These are all using a different bundle that we didn't use at the in-person class. So depending on Tammy, hi, purple is her favorite too. Oh, that's awesome. So depending on what product you have at home is really, you can swap in what you have and you can really get creative, which is my favorite thing about card making for sure. All right, so if you guys have any questions on these card kits, let me know in the comments. I'm going to be popping this over to YouTube. Hi, everybody on YouTube. I am so bad at getting back to everyone that comments on YouTube, but I do read them randomly, and I'm always so happy that you guys comment over there too. I do these live on Facebook and then I pop them to YouTube later, and just to be able to share them. Facebook will delete these live videos after 30 days. So if you ever wanted to rewatch one of them, they are all over there on my YouTube channel. It's under the Maine Stamper, so you can check them out. And you can see years worth of videos over there too, which is really interesting to see how things have progressed through the years. All right, so this card class is coming to you this week with your $50 order. You get the card kits for free. Feel free to get your own embellishments or add your own embellishments. The ribbon that is in the kits comes to you as part of the card kit as well. So I'll be sharing some more pictures of these cards through the week here on Facebook, and I will be sending out a couple of emails about the ordering so that I can remind you that you need to get your orders in if you want these card kits. Thanks for hanging out with me. This was great to be back again doing a live card class. I appreciate you guys so much. It's always fun to hang out with you. All right, I think that's everything I've got. I'm going to wrap it up here. I want you to have a really great rest of the week, and I will see you again next week. Next Monday, we're doing another card class. It's going to be June already. Don't forget about the scrapbooking kit that you can order on Wednesday, the last week that you can sign up to be a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator to get your discount. And if you have a May birthday, I would love to help you celebrate. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your evening. And until next time, stay inspired, create something beautiful, and share the love. Bye, friends.